You look
Yes.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries. How are you doing today?
Well, so far so good. Yes, it's been a good, bright, sunny day on London streets, and now here, semi-work. So
Oh, that's good.
so it's been good so far.
Oh, amazing. I'm glad the English weather is treating you well.
It's been quite good actually. I'm very glad I'm not jinx it.
Yeah.
Still one more day to go before I go back. So I want to just like, yeah, it's all nice, weather gods.
Yeah, let's definitely not jinx it. How has it been having taken this film to London Indian Film Festival and having this premiere in London?
So, Anurag Kashyap, the director of this film, I feel he's a festival favorite all across the world. Whenever he has a film coming up, I think it's almost like everybody's ready to receive it, and just to have his work in a festival is not something that's a rarity anymore. Last time when I worked with him in Manmarzia, uh, it was my first ever time my film went to a film festival. Usually because I do films which are more like commercial box office films in India. Um, so doing those rounds of film festivals was I realized how everyone loves the kind of work he does. So it became I was now very surprised when Dobaara was selected here and a couple of other festivals as well. So I'm just gonna. I just feel it gives me an opportunity to put my work across to a diaspora beyond Indian diaspora, which doesn't really happen that often. It does happen to an extent when your film comes on OTT, but this one is going to be a box office film, and a lot of people outside India and Indian community are going to watch it before the release of the film. So that will prep us up for a good response when it releases.
That's amazing. And how has the response been at the festival?
Oh, very good. Very, very good. One thing that's synonymous in both the screenings that we have done so far is the fact that it's going to be a very, very unlike Hindi film for Indian audience to watch, because this kind of concept has not been explored on mainstream in mainstream Hindi films. So it's quite new for them. People watching OTT a lot are used to watching this kind of concept in international films or shows, but not really Indian films, especially not the ones in theater. So it's quite a test for all of us, which we are okay with. We knew about it when we accepted this film that is going to be quite a test. But then, well, someone has to take that first step. So why not us?
Yeah, amazing. And I can't wait for people to watch it. I was wondering if we could start talking about the film and talk about your character and the story and what the film's about.
My character, I really can't talk about unless the film is out, because that kind of is very pivotal to the plot of the twist
Yeah,
that's there in the film. It is a time travel film, which is going to, where my character is going to change something back in time. How and what, you'll have to see that film for. But because of that change, her entire life, her present changes. And now, is she okay with that change? Is she not okay with that change? And what is she going to do about that change is going to make for the entire film. So the thrill of trying to undo it or trying to go through it is what forms the whole film.
amazing. And what drew you to this project in the first place? Was it
The fact that, yeah, the most, because most importantly, that my audience back in India isn't very familiar with this concept, and we kind of wow it when it comes internationally. But we fear to attempt it in our mainstream films, thinking audience will not understand it because it's not your regular linear storytelling. So that fear is something that I felt, is worth getting rid of. High time now, and I think this whole pandemic of 2 years kind of helped us a little bit, because we got more and more exposed to content online, which had a lot of this time travel happening, especially lately. So we were forced to watch online content last 2 years back in India as well, where people of different sections who never really bothered to watch something, they had no option. So they started watching this, and there was a lot of this time travel content which made them familiar with this. So it might not be as alien a concept for them as it was probably before 2020. So hence it became, probably a better time to have a film like that out in the theaters in India.
Amazing. And it must have been fun playing with the different decades and time traveling through India and seeing how things have changed.
Oh, a lot. So I'm myself a 90s kid, and the film goes in 90s and present. So the whole PD, the production design, and the way the people behave, to the way the kind of people, the clothes and the ambience of the things. And India has changed a lot from 90s to present. So that big change that, I keep imagining, okay, this was how it was when I was a kid versus how it is now. You can see the big difference in the kind of music you used to hear back then, and the medium of hearing music to all the other things in a house change from now to then. So all that is very visible there, which can be very nostalgic for all the 90s kids.
I'm also a 90s kid, so that excites me a lot. Is there anything about the 90s that you really enjoyed revisiting, that you were like, yes, this is what I loved?
Honestly, I really liked the fact that everything was not very accessible. It might be very strange to say that in the present times, because we love the fact that everything is so connected, well connected, easily connected. But that whole effort to get access, the whole effort to connect, to meet up in person, and not just have groups formed and these virtual hangouts, that was special. So I kind of miss that access, that effort we used to do to access a lot of things back then versus now.
Yeah, I miss that as well, because when you arrange something, you have to be there, otherwise people just think the worst.
Yeah. So yeah, that effort used to be nice. I miss the landline.
I miss the landline. Yeah, just sitting on the stairs with your little wired phone,
Yeah, don't make it.
trying to have private conversations though your parents are in the next room.
Oh yeah, and all those just after the ring and then putting it down, thinking, oh no, not the person I want to talk to.
Yeah, I miss when you're online and then someone picks up the phone and it just ruins the internet because you can't have both the phone and the internet.
Oh yeah, there'll be fights and fights in the house because like no one touches the phone until I finish my game on this computer.
Yeah. So what is it like working? You said you've worked with the director before. How is it working back on with this story?
Well, he's the most unprepared director probably we have. So, which is actually his asset, because then his spontaneity brings out something that you haven't fixed in your head and makes you explore a side of you as an actor that you probably never thought existed. So a lot of us who have worked with him feel that he is like this acting course that we should do after a couple of years when we are slightly bored of doing the stuff that we've been doing. We want to explore a new side. Just go and work with him in a film. He'll make you see a side which you haven't explored till now. So he is that kind of a director. I am also not someone who loves to prep a lot. I also bank a lot on my spontaneity. I'm not a trained actor. I kind of like wants to just deep dive into the deep end. So that kind of connects me and Anurag quite well. He doesn't like his actors to prep too much. I don't like to prep too much either. So that makes it work for both of us. And it's very strange how it's not like he makes you do workshops, or it's not like he talks to you a lot before a particular scene or a shot. But somehow the ease that I've faced in front of the camera, the confidence that you have when you're performing in his film is higher than most of the other films, because he kind of gives you the sense of responsibility and makes you feel like, yes, you know it and you can do it. Which sometimes probably, with too much of information and too much of do this and that and not this and not that, maybe makes you feel like, okay, I hope I'm hitting the right marks at the right time, which I don't feel when I'm working with him, which kind of like makes me feel more at ease in front of the camera. So hence, the difference in working with him versus with working with a lot of others.
That sounds amazing, and it's incredible to see you guys work together. And also, it's a very small, tight knit cast as well. How was it like working with this small cast.
I think that is thanks to that we could actually make this film between the first and the second wave of COVID, because limited number of actors, and even the locations were not like, the crowded areas and all. We didn't have to expose all those areas, is why we could actually finish this film in 32 days of shoot. I only shot for say 21, 22 days for my part, and very limited access or connection with other actors or spaces. So that was good. And Pavail and I have worked together in another Hindi film. I think that was his first feature film, Pavail's, that we worked together in, and this is his second. And strangely, I am his co-actor in both of them. He better like it. This one was supposed to be his first film, but it got delayed in shooting, and then the second one became the first one. So yeah, so Pavail and I know each other since 2019 when we shot the previous film. We've been friends since then. So the ease and comfort obviously grows with every film. And I had a couple of others who I haven't worked with at all in this film. And of course, when you work, and one good thing about Anurag's films is all his actors are good. I think because all good actors around want to work with him. So even for the smallest of small parts, you get some really good actors, and hence whenever you have a good actor in front of you, I really enjoy it because it helps my performance get better. Because of the kind of energy they give me, I kind of reflect it better. So I'm always like little dependent on my co-actor's performance because it helps me better mine.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck
Thank
with the
you.
rest of the festival and the screenings, and hopefully the weather stays nice for you.
Yes, thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Enjoy your evening. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,